Hello and welcome. You must be here for the Redstone Inkblot Rorschach-based test. Is that correct? Very good. Well, it's very nice to see you again. I am Dr. Limericks, and I believe I last saw you about 5 years ago now. Is that correct? Yes. The chart says here that it was September 3rd, 2016. It's been quite some time. So I understand you are back here today to take the Inkblot test again, correct? Alright. Well, the pleasant thing about that is that I would assume your mind has by now erased your former memory and interpretations of the cards prior to today's visit. And as you have developed and changed inevitably and grown as a human being over the past 5 years, your interpretations will automatically be different, one would assume at least. How have things been? Alright, okay. So the way that we will be performing your Inkblot test today is I will be showing you 12 cards, and I want you to tell me what you see in each of the cards, what your mind thinks it sees or how it interprets the cards, and I'll turn them sideways, upside down, cover half of the cards, and then you can draw a conclusion in the viewing of the card. Now, for some of the cards you may possibly see nothing at all, and that's perfectly fine. We do have pre-written definitions for your interpretation of the card, and as you express your opinion on what you see on each card, I will convey back to you the meaning in what you see in the cards. And after we have observed each of the 12 cards, I then would like for you to choose 3 of the 12 cards that bring you the most strongest emotions. Alright? Okay. So, are you ready to begin? Alright. We're first going to begin by studying each card individually. Okay? And as we study each card, you may learn a little bit more about your personality. Okay? Alright. Let's begin with the first card. I want you to take your time looking at each card. And the Rorschach Inkblot test is a reactive test, so follow your instinct and study each card. I want you to study this card. Tell me what you see. Study the card. Tell me what you see from any angle. And back to the beginning. Would you like any more time? Alright. So, what do you see in this image? Do you see anything at all? Or do you see anything specific, regardless of the angle you choose? Okay. Alright. So, because you said you saw skeletons, bones, and things of that nature, the pre-written description here for the interpretation provided. Life can seem like a treadmill or a merry-go-round, repeating itself over and over. You worry about feeling drained and hollow, grinding to a halt. Sometimes you think you should take more emotional risks. Let's go to card number 2. Again, I'd like for you to look at this one. Take your time. And whatever you interpret from the image, go with that. Go with whatever your mind draws the strongest conclusion to. We're just here to learn a little bit more about your personality. Okay, would you like some more time with this card? No? Alright. So, what do you see in this card? Interesting. Alright, so you see a flower of sorts, yes? Okay. The pre-written description here says, nature may abhor a vacuum, but you seem to even more. Rather than being in the moment, concentrating on what you need with all the vulnerability that entails, you find it easier to give others as many reasons as possible not to be able to live without you. The Chinese proverb, keep a green tree in your heart and perhaps a singing bird will come, tends to fall on deaf ears in your case. That is card number 2. And now to card number 3. Take your time again. Okay, would you like more time with this one? Okay, and what do you see? You see a mask of sorts? Interesting. Let's have a look at the pre-written description. You have lots to offer, but tend to be highly self-critical and undermine yourself. You feel pulled in different directions, a state of mind you're reluctant to share with other people. But your elusiveness doesn't strike you as that wonderful either. You can feel how precious time is, how important it is to exercise your will at every opportunity, if only you didn't feel stuck. And that is card number 3. And now, card number 4. Take your time, study the card. Even if your thought of it is vague or abstract, any answer will suffice. Even if you see nothing in the card. Okay, and what do you think about card number 4? Okay, so from the card, the closest description that I could provide back to you would be this one. You work extremely hard, constantly setting yourself new challenges in an attempt to become stronger. You get a lot done and professionally are highly appreciated. The message in your private life may be that you need to lighten up and not be so controlling. You file this neatly in your to-do folder. Card number 4. Card number 5. Have a look at card number 5. And remember, even if you only see something in a third of the image, a corner of the image, focus on that. It doesn't even have to be the whole image. Whatever you see, just trying to help guide your mind to what it wants to go to. And would you like any more time with card 5? Alright. And what do you see in this image? The anatomy. Okay. The pre-written description here states, you have a sense of stalled potential, of putting an enormous amount into life and yet still waiting for it to start. Your idea of how things should be, who you should be with, what you should be doing is very vivid. And if reality falls short of expectations, your considerable achievements provide little consolation. A philosophical approach, such as the poet Rimbaud's Aux saisons au château, quelle âme est sans défaut? O seasons, O castles, what soul is without blemish, strikes you as trite at best. That is card number 5. Card number 6. And again, study the image as best as you can. Okay, and would you like any more time for image number 6? Okay, I see. Well, the closest pre-written description for your interpretation will be as follows. You're used to doing things on your own terms and having things your own way. Most people will accommodate you, but as you well know, that doesn't mean it isn't better to be more flexible. After all, to take a scientific approach, you can't say A is made of B or vice versa. All mass is interaction, as the physicist Richard Feynman said. That is card number 6. Card number 7. Okay. And would you like any more time with this card? Okay. And what do you think about this card? I see. Well, from the answer you provided, this would be the closest pre-written description. You are very emotional, feel things very deeply, and have an acute sense of responsibility and concern for others. It is one of the reasons you are greatly loved. It is also one of the reasons you don't ask for what you need more. The consequences can often be painful. You can mess up badly because you said, "Oh, I'll be fine," and you kick yourself every time. This is card number 7. And now card number 8. Study the card. Okay, and would you like any more time with this card? Alright. And what do you see in this card? Interesting. Well, the closest response from the card to your interpretation would be this one. A cerebral soul, you have a great capacity for imaginative, rigorous thought. You know all too well the concentration and patience required to do anything good, and can't see why anyone would settle for anything less if they care about what they're doing. You want to feel like the New Orleans piano player Alan Toussaint, who said of his mentor Professor Longhair, "A rule breaker is a rule maker. He blew my socks off and I haven't worn any since." That is card number 8. Card number 9. Take your time with this one. And would you like any more time with this card? Alright. And what does your mind see with this one? Okay, this would be the closest description. You often assume the observer role, which is a demanding one, but if you can make yourself, as writer Henry James said, one of the people on whom nothing is lost, also very rewarding and selfless. You wonder though whether you're looking for the wrong kind of freedom. Should you be caring more about other people, being more aware and paying more attention, sacrificing for them in myriad petty, unsexy ways, as author David Foster Wallace suggested? That is card number 9. Card number 10. Take your time with this one. And would you like any more time with this one? Alright. And what do you think of this one? Okay. Well, this would be the closest description. You're good at losing yourself in the moment, forgetting yourself. You put a lot of energy into everything so that you can be involved as much as possible, rather than with any expectations of what you might get out of it. Your relationships are the same, warm and loving, but not at all possessive. Your goodbyes are light and easy, a simple lifting of the anchor. The bunting comes out when someone hoves into view. That is card number 10. Card number 11. And would you like any more time with this one? Alright. And what does your mind think of with this one? Okay. So, the pre-written description that closely relates to what you said is, you sometimes feel as if you try too hard with other people. You're a naturally loving person and consider kindness one of the great virtues, but you still wonder why you put on such a performance when you're not in the mood. As Lisa says in The Simpsons, Bart's pain is funny, mine isn't. It's as simple as that. So why do you act as if your feelings mean nothing? Don't you take yourself seriously enough? That is card number 11. And the last card, before we move on for you choosing your 3 cards, is card number 12. Turning the cards. And would you like any more time with this card? I'd like to look at it from this angle a little more. You ready? Alright. And what do you see in that card? Okay, so the pre-written description that most accurately describes what you saw would be this one. Your affable, sociable exterior may not prepare people for how independent you are, the doggedness with which you revolve in your own unique orbit. Naturally, you're drawn to the limelight in many ways. It's where your talents mean you belong, but you're dubious about the costs, and even more than that, you can't stand anyone telling you what to do. You're profoundly unbiddable. At the first hint of coercion, you disappear. That is card number 12. So now we will be moving on to the second part of this Rorschach Inkblot-based personality test. For this next part, I would like for you to choose the 3 cards that make you feel either the strongest emotions or simply nothing at all. Alright? I'm going to begin by showing you all 12 cards. And I simply want you to take your time in finding the cards that you are most strongly drawn to. Take your time. We'll go through the cards twice at least. And if you would like more time with the card, let me know. And remember, it is a pre-written description. So if you find that the description does not match how you're feeling at this time, or how you may have felt, that's alright. Not all interpretations can be accurate. That's card number 12. I'm going to go through these again. And the final card. Would you like any more time with a certain card, or perhaps would you like to see them again? No? Okay. So which cards were you most drawn to? Number 3. Number 4. And number 8. Alright. So let me just confirm the cards that you have chosen. Number 3. Number 4. And number 8. Are those correct? Okay. So let's just begin with the interpretation of number 3. Gifted, elusive, uncertain, searching. Talented people who are capable of excelling in any number of fields, but reveal a potential Achilles heel when it comes to choosing where to concentrate their energies. Spontaneous and entertaining, They are mercurial, elusive characters. People drawn to them may feel they can pin them down, help them take control of their lives, commit to a particular path, and so on. This is likely to be a recipe for frustration, since after an initial step forward, the recurrence of familiar bouts of confusion, indecision, and anxiety on their part may seem like 2 steps back. Naturally, all this changes when they resolve to get to the bottom of their dissatisfaction, deal with their problems with choosing and accepting loss, and move on to the good things that await. That is the description for card number 3. And now you said you have chosen card number 4. Commanding, resolute, aspiring, centered, feisty, tenacious souls who are constantly forging ahead, thrashing things out, figuratively, if not actually crying out, onwards and upwards, at every turn. They have something of the ship's commander about them, always on the bridge come hell or high water, rallying their crew, sharing their every thought and experience. They relish challenges and see conflict as a necessary dynamic part of life. Their sense of themselves, their work ethic, how hard they push themselves, are all extremely admirable. Sometimes their storminess might appear slightly exhausting, however. People might balk at how demanding they are. Can't life include some light-hearted fun? One thing they can never be accused of lacking, however, is full-blooded commitment. That is the description for card number 4. And the last card you chose was number 8. Card number 8. Generous, cerebral, imaginative, hesitant. Thoughtful, generous souls who always give a great deal, literally as well as in the way they imaginatively and emotionally engage with other people's lives. Their willingness to share, the fact that what's going on in their heads is very interesting. Their self-consciousness, their sensitivity to everything around them. These qualities explain their attraction, and the fact that people often want to look after them. Fantasy plays a big part in their lives, for good and ill. If they get swept up in detrimental fantasies of demise or failure, they can be extremely susceptible to procrastination. This is a minefield for them. And if they spend too much time in their heads, their supplies of energy and enthusiasm can quickly drain away. Luckily, they have many other options open to them. Those are the descriptions for the 3 cards you chose. So take some time now to reflect on what the descriptions have told you and what that could possibly mean about where you are in your life right now or your personality at this moment in time. Remember, as I mentioned before, please take these pre-written descriptions with a pinch of salt. All humans' personalities are unique to them. So if you find that a description of something that you could relate to today, something you found interest in or had a strong emotion to, doesn't resonate with you, that's alright. Not every single response can be accurate and reflect accurately on how you are feeling or what you find the strongest emotional response to. Alright. Well, I hope that you have found this Inkblot Rorschach Redstone personality test a reflective experience today. And thank you very much for visiting us again. Take care.